This is an unlucky moment, but there are even more unlucky moments in the world of surfing, like the time when Rafael Tapia got thrown off his board, or when Garrett McNamara broke his arm. But first, let's talk about Nick Von Rupp's insane wipeout. With riding big waves comes big wipeouts. That's exactly what happened to Portugal's Nick Von Rupp. Guess it's not all riding monster waves and kissing babies while walking up the sand to receive the key to the city from the mayor when you're a pro surfer. There's carnage too. Now you'd think that not being in the ocean would make surfing a bit easier, but apparently that's not the case. At least for this guy. Things seemed to be going pretty smoothly for that guy, until they didn't. He's gonna be draining water out of his ears for days after that. But this incident will look like nothing when compared to the next one. Imagine you're bravely leaping off a 25-foot rooftop, feeling like a superhero. But suddenly, a fleet of tractor-trailers packed with water appears out of nowhere and dump their loads right on you. That's pretty much what happened to Willem Banks at Mavericks. It's as if the ocean itself decided to play a prank, drenching him in a wave so monstrous it deserves its own comedy award. If this guy was trying to do a backflip mid-air, he gets a 10 out of 10, but I kind of have a feeling that wasn't intentional. Rafael Tapia is riding a huge Nazar wave, but things start to go sideways when he gets a case of the speed wobbles. It's like trying to ride a bike downhill with no brakes. Sure enough, the wobbles lead to a nasty wipeout. Tapia gets thrown off his board and tossed around in the water like a sock in a dryer. Meanwhile, the giant wave of whitewater catches up and gives him an extra rough time. It's a classic case of when surfing gets tough, the tough get tumbled. This poor lady didn't even have a chance to make it into the water before being wiped out. And here we have someone doing the classic sideways maneuver, aka the "I meant to do that" pose. It's a bold strategy, usually reserved for those who want to check if their health insurance is as waterproof as their wetsuit. This guy literally got turned upside down by a massive wave, but he was just a regular surfer. Sometimes even pros can get a little unlucky, and by a little I mean a lot. Like this time, when a professional surfer got completely wiped out by a massive wave. But by far, one of the worst pro wipeouts has to be the next one. Nathan Florence took one of the world's coldest and most brutal pencil dives we've ever seen at Mavericks. This man was like, if I fall, might as well take someone else out with me. Talk about bad luck. This guy tried super hard to make it out in time, but luck just wasn't on his side that day. However, at least he's not getting smacked in the face by flying fish. Like this guy, who had a crazy encounter. Talk about getting a mouthful. In this video, Danny Griffith faces the wild Shipstern Bluff Wave, a surfing roller coaster with more drops than your favorite DJ's set. As he tries to step up to the challenge, this aquatic beast shows its layers like an onion, only less tear-inducing and more adrenaline-pumping. Griffith aims to bail out, thinking maybe today's not the day to tango with Poseidon, but the wave has other plans. In a classic "you shall not pass" moment, it sends him tumbling back down like a surfer on a slippery, watery staircase. Here, Tom Lowe is up against a massive wave at Nazar. He realizes he can't ride it out, so he decides to bail, but it's not a smooth exit. He ends up doing what looks like a two-footed jump right into the wave. The wave then grabs him and throws him around like he's in a giant washing machine. Imagine doing that insane trick and then almost having your head taken off by an idiot. I don't know about you, but this has to be the biggest case of bad luck the surfing world has ever seen, both figuratively and literally. This person got thrown back with just as much enthusiasm as they went in with. On February 11th, 2016, during a massive northwest swell that hit the Hawaiian Islands, Tyler Laron had a moment he won't forget. At the infamous Jaws surf spot, known for its monstrous wave, Tyler found himself in a bit of a pickle. He caught a wave that was more like a runaway freight train than a gentle ride. The power of the wave was so intense that it literally pushed his leg through his surfboard. With the swell not quite right for the Eddie surf competition, Albie Layer chose to stay in Maui for a high-stakes session at this notorious break. It was during this session that Albie took on a monster wave, but things took a turn for the worse when he got caught in the lip of the wave, which was roughened by the wind. As his board's nose caught the water's surface, Albie was flung forward in a dramatic fashion, but no one's wiped out at Jaws quite like Tom Dosland, as you'll see in this next clip. Pro surfer Tom Dosland had an unforgettable encounter at Hawaii's Jaws surf break, but probably not the kind he was hoping for. He challenged a towering 40-foot wave, which decided to show him who's boss. The wave flipped him upside down, sending him plunging head first into the water. Witnessing wipeouts from seasoned big wave surfers is always a sight, but there's something uniquely gripping about seeing top-tier World Tour surfers get thrashed by the waves. Case in point, Andy Irons at Pipeline on the north shore of Oahu back in 1998. Irons, known for his extraordinary skill and poise in the water, faced a humbling moment against a formidable pipe. The wave took him for a rough ride, serving up a reminder that even the best of the best aren't immune to the ocean's unpredictable nature. It's like even the ocean occasionally says, "Remember, I'm the boss here," to even the most talented surfers. Andrew Cotton's encounter with a colossal wave almost had us fooled. For a moment, it seemed like he had outpaced it and come out unscathed. But then, the wave, like a cranky giant, decided it wasn't done yet. It reared up and swatted Cotton down just as he was about to make his escape. Cotton, in a last-ditch effort, bailed from his board, but the wave, having none of it, launched him sky high, turning him into a human kite for a brief gravity-defying moment. He then took a dive into the water right in the splash zone. After a brief underwater tour courtesy of the wave, he popped back up, only to be greeted by another watery smackdown before the rescue ski could get to him. And just when you thought the ocean had had its fun, it flipped the rescue ski too, sending Cotton and the driver for an unexpected swim. They all ended up on the shore, with Cotton clearly the worse for the wear, needing medical attention. This wild ride, which happened faster than you can say wipeout, led to Cotton breaking his back, but he snagged the WSL Wipeout of the Year award in 2017 and 18 for his troubles. From the get-go, it's clear that Porchela is in a tough spot. He's trying to ride a massive wave but doesn't have enough speed. Then, in a split second, he digs a rail and it's game over.
Game over.
The wave grabs him and tosses him over the falls, sending him crashing down onto the reef below. At the tender age of 16, Jay Moriarty etched his name into surfing lore with a bone-chilling wipeout at Mavericks in the frigid waters of Northern California. His encounter with the massive wave was so dramatic that it landed on the cover of Surfer magazine. I guess what doesn't throw you off your board makes you famous. Garrett McNamara, known as the Hawaiian Hellman for his fearless pursuit of big waves, met his match on January 7, 2015 at Mavericks, Northern California. With a reputation for chasing giants, calling any wipeout his heaviest is saying something. That day, he tackled a monstrous 70-plus foot wave, nearly pulling off an airdrop. But fate had other plans as he launched headfirst over the nose of his board, skipping like a stone across the wave's face before the full force of the wave came crashing down on him. After regaining consciousness in the ambulance, McNamara learned just how close he cut it. Maverick's local Ion banner had to hop off the rescue ski to get him on board. McNamara's left arm was hanging lifelessly at his side. Can't believe this guy almost made it out of the wave without a scratch. Keyword, almost. This is just one of those videos that keep getting worse as they go. But hey, at least the guy did a fist pump at the end, so everything has to be good, right? Here we have Danny Fuller almost being decapitated by a huge wave. That's gotta hurt. And finally, we have Grant Baker's wipeout from 2012. The way he just disappeared into that wave, insane and scary.